Okay, top of the hour. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome. If you haven't been here before, thank you for coming. And if you have, well, thank you for coming back. As I can see, we do not have any of the JV partners currently on the line, so I will just get going with some of the issues that I wanted to discuss. And if they come on, we'll talk. So one of the things that I'm doing is I always set these up so that what I'm doing is taking the people that I'm working with on a one-on-one basis and using this time to help them and share with them ideas about what they can do to maximize our sites, the ones that we have together. So I wanted to, and I throw this open to you to watch and see what you can learn as well from the information and the information that I cover with them. So that's the purpose. So let's just take a look at a few different things. First off, I can't see it on my screen because of the fact that it is, I have accessed my own site so many times that it's not giving me the pop-up. And for those of you who want to, if you go to fredgleeck.com right now and you haven't been there a lot, it'll give you a new pop-up window, or pop-over as I guess we're calling it, that is set up because I was, again, asked some questions by Carl Blanks on whether or not, what my primary purpose was of my site. And I said that my primary purpose of the site, and it's a good question to ask yourself, is, ask yourself, what is the primary purpose of your site? And in my case, my answer was to capture, hey Avish.
Hey, Fred.
Email addresses. By the way, chicken tikka masala last night was good, not great. We're moving in the right direction of understanding how to do it correctly.
Very nice, yes.
So you may want to ask your mom to get you a recipe that you can forward to me.
I've tried it myself. It's always been kind of good, but not great. So.
Yeah, I wasn't quite enough of a bite. So last night I had some a birthday celebration that involved some Indian food, but I didn't quite get it right. So anyway, what I was doing is here asking people, what's the primary purpose of your site? And in my case, I don't know if you how often you go to my site, Avish, but have you seen the new popover yet?
No, I haven't.
Try and see if you go there right now, if you get the new popover. If you've been there more than a certain number of times, it may not show up.
Yeah, let's see.
And I've told everybody else on the webinar to go check it out and see if they get it as well. Because
yeah, for the new one is for the free 4-hour video program.
Yeah. Now let me just give you my results thus far. It's early on, so the data is rather sparse. But data is, it seems to be increasing the number of opt-ins, let's just say substantially. And by substantially, it looks like anywhere from a 200 to 300% increase.
That's pretty good. And so what was it before? You had the split one, right, where you could send people to the boot camp and one side sent them to the book?
Yeah, and so what I was going over right before you got on the call, I was asking everybody the question up here, which is ask yourself, what is the primary purpose of the site? And in my case, when Carl Blanks asked me that question, my answer was to capture email addresses. So he said, well, why don't you change the popover to make sure, if that's your primary mission, that you get that done first? And I said, that's a good idea. So I had Stanley make those changes, and so now that's what's happening there. So I would encourage you to, and again, let's take a look at Speaking Expert. Now, again, I saw you send an email to Stanley about getting something done, right?
Yeah, that was just that thing we talked about putting the phone number in the header with a free 15-minute consult, just to kind of grab people right away.
Right up here in this area where my mouse is, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Perfect. Yeah, that'll be good. So, excellent. And what I think is, so again, asking ourselves on this site, the primary goal of this site is, number one, I guess, with that number of people visiting. And I saw your recent visitor report. It's still around somewhere in the 300 visitors per month, right?
Yeah, I started doing the weekly thing. So this past week, from last Wednesday to yesterday, through yesterday, was 73 unique visitors.
Yeah. So 73 a week translates to about times 4, somewhere around 300,
Yeah.
approximately 300 per month. Okay, so and again, it'll be interesting to see if what the results are doing this new thing. So what we're going to do is with that number of people, it certainly makes sense that we sort of have a dual purpose. Number one would be definitely to get them to take advantage of the free ebook, which is why we have all the red, you know, arrows going there. And if this area next to between the microphone and speaking expert has something that says call now, and we get 5 or 6 calls per week, let that be our biggest problem, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So then, what else here? So let's see here. Any other changes or things that what you're going to do is you're going to change the video as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. I haven't done that yet. As you
Yeah,
can
when you
see,
get a
it's just
chance.
fine.
That's probably worth changing also. And so we're going to have now one of the things that I'm doing with I've decided to do with sort of this is a more global life issue than just a business issue. So let me just Avish, I think you know a little bit about this, but so in life as well as in business, financially, the goal is financial goal in general is to reduce expenses and increase revenue. So, in my personal life, what I've been doing is number one, so I just signed on Monday. I renegotiated and got refinanced my mortgage in New York City, dropping my payments by $350 per month. I'm about to do the same thing
Nice.
here in California. I'm hoping that'll result in $500 per month reduction. And then I'll go on to Vegas and I'm hoping I can get at least I'm guessing a $400 per month reduction in payments. So that's all on the, now, in addition to that, submitting, we're following up on Sabrina's, she's about to, she got all of her documents now into the people at Social Security. So Social Security issues for her for the disability, and that would produce a reduction of like over $600 a month in $600 per month in medical what a premium medical premiums. And I'm telling you all this because let me this is not really all that proprietary. And then so that's all on the this is all on the reduce expenses front, and this relates to the business side as well. So then on the increase, why did it do that? Don't like that. Increase.
It's far less important.
Right. Increase revenue. One of the things I kept asking myself, what are my, the biggest sources of revenue, blah, blah, blah. But I thought one of the things I had to put at the top is the JV partners. And so here's my thing that I'm going to be doing with you as well if you care to partake. Number one is November 3rd through the 10th, I go to Chicago to work with Bill DeWeese 101 for the whole week.
Wow.
So in other words, I want to try and help him get done what he can't do because he's actually working a real job. Now the same thing is true. So then the question is with Avish, would our getting together one-on-one to help you, like sort of basically you and I'll be your slave for the week to try and do anything that generates us revenue. So the question is something like that something that you want to do? And if so, we can arrange it. But that was my goal is to try and take a look at each of the JV partners and to say, okay, well, how can I maximize revenue coming in from the JV partners? And one of the things I can do is I can visit each of the JV partners and work with them for a week to do it. Now, in the case of Bob Bly, who I'm going to be doing this other thing with, we have decided to do this via Skype. And so we are re-recording. We're re-recording 5 programs, and all of which are going to be licensed, available for licensing. So, and also Elliot is back on track here because he's had a lot going on. We are recording, and this is something we can ask you about too, Avish. We're going to be
Hmm.
recording videos in Las Vegas, hopefully sometime in the January 15 through 30 time frame. So here's what I'm going to ask you, Avish. One of the things that I have to do is I have to recruit um, I have to recruit 5 couples. Now these are fake couples, and so I need basically some improv folks. So now here's my question for you. We're going to do this over the period of 2 days, and we hope to shoot, 5 videos with 5 different couples. Therefore, we need 10 improv capable quote unquote actors, if we want to call them that. Because we're going to be doing these sort of scenarios in which he does live therapy sessions with people like, and my thought is that if you wanted to make this an Amanda trip, if you guys have time, I'd love to have you if you want to do that, if you have the time to do that sometime in that. We're not sure yet of the dates, but sometime right after mid-January. So the idea is that we are, Elliot is sitting on a gold mine. He just hasn't been able to because he's had some family issues and some business issues, but he's been doing all these various, speeches and seminars where his psychology, his psychological construct that he's set up in his system, his book is out. Now let's take a look. I haven't seen this yet, so this is, I'm completely. Let me do this. Keep it. Amazon. Let's see under books. Apparently, his book is selling like hotcakes. Okay, so yep, here it is. Solution building in couples therapy. Yeah, let's see how it's doing in terms of its ranking. It doesn't look, maybe I don't know how well it's selling in other places, but we got to get him. We got to get him to get some reviews written here. And this is published by who? Let me see who the publisher is. I'm not even sure of that. Let's check here. So if we look inside. So Elliot is going to be producing videos based on this book, based on this concept of solution. It's Springer Publishing. Okay. So anyway, this is his stuff, and what we're going to be doing is he's been doing a lot of speeches, but whenever he goes anywhere, he sells out of all of his books. I mean, anything he brings, he sells. So the question is video. So we're going to be starting to produce videos, but we tried to do it other places, and he tried to do it in his home area of Dallas, and couldn't get people to sign up by saying, "Hey, free therapy" or whatever. So we're going to just basically create and have some improv artists that do this. So if you're interested, let me know. If not, what I'm going to be doing is trying to solicit. And again, I need 5 different couples. And he said he needed 3 heterosexual, hetero, and 2 gay couples. Apparently, that's a pretty big piece of his business. So, and on the gay couple side, he needs 1 male, 1 female couple. So that's what we're looking to do. And it's something where I'm sure we're going to be compensating the actors, certainly not at any massive rate, but anybody who's involved in the recording will get some kind of at least nominal compensation. So that's what we're doing there, and the reason is because Elliot is kicking butt on some other things. So the question then is, for him, what we'll have to do is we'll probably have to create a quote a logo and a look for his videos and other future products. But so let me know on that if you want, Avish, if you want in on that.
Yeah, well, let me know the dates because it might be hard for Amanda to get out there. But
I got you. Yeah, but if you can, it'd be certainly cool if you could, because that'd be good. Um, and yeah, so we're gonna try and come up with that. But he could be moving a boatload of these, and this is what that's all about. So anyway, on the increasing revenue, decreasing expenses side, so what I'm doing sort of with my personal stuff is, this is all this stuff, and then on the business side, I'm working with the JV partners because my long-term goal is again to have it so that I have, you guys are all generating enough money so everybody is happy and I'm happy and we're all making money and everybody's happy. So that's what we're trying to do here. So um, let's see here. So I guess, Avish, the question is, do you feel, and I won't feel insulted if the answer is no, do you feel that my coming to visit you or getting together with you for a full week devoted exclusively to getting speakingexpert.com to generate revenue or more revenue, would that be helpful?
I think it would if we spend some time in advance figuring out what exactly we needed to do. I think right now we're throwing some stuff against the wall and trying to figure some things out. Like we could always get together and get stuff done and like create a whole new product, but if we're not converting, then there's no point in taking that time. So I think if we knew what we were going to do and what the benefit would be, then absolutely.
Okay, good. So now the other thing is ClickBank. Um, as I understand it, ClickBank, I think, and I don't know, I'm so lame on how to do this too. So I'm wondering if, let me see if the speaking product is up yet. Let's see here. So speaking, my speaking product here.
You got to go to the marketplace first.
Yeah, you know what? Again, this is not very intuitive, but they know that. Okay, speaking. I'll just put speaking, period. See if mine is coming up. Learn to speak Tagalog with audio. Nice. Overcoming fear of, is that ours here? Overcoming fear of public speaking?
No.
Public speaking success e-program. Public speaking anxiety. My fear, stress free. I don't know where it is, but I'm wondering if, let me just put in here professional speaking.
Or you search on your name.
Oh yeah, I can do that as well.
Maybe. I don't know if
Oh yeah, here it is. Now that's yours. Ours, I mean. Yeah, so I don't know where the heck it is, but we're in the process of getting this up and running. So that's happening as we speak. Like I said, my work with them has been phenomenal. I've been really enjoying working with them, and there's a lot to be learned there. So I think that it's just a matter of time and getting stuff up and going, and boom, 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 and we'll have it going. So now, have any sales been made for the Speaking Expert audio series, by the way, Avish?
No, and if I'm understanding the stats right, they're sending a decent number of hops, like in the last 2 weeks, as they call it, clicks. Something like 70 plus have gone, but we haven't got any sales. So I don't know if it's just that page needs to be completely rewritten if the copy's not resonating, or if it's if it's just low value traffic. So I'm not sure what the dilly-hoo is there.
Yeah.
I mean, I could try dropping the price and see if that causes any kind of a change.
What price do we have it at?
I don't know what they're. I think it's 77 or 97. So
yeah,
it's under 100, but
again, depending on what it is, they told I've had conversations with them, and there's obviously pricing is a function of what is it that you're selling, and are you able to create value for the stated price point. So it's either a matter of the copy's not good, or it's not strong enough given the price point, or whatever. Or now, do we have a hybrid there? Is it both audio? I mean, is it both video and text and copy?
No, right now it's just text and pictures.
Okay,
so something to test as well.
Now, did you go through the the stuff from Carl Blanks, by the way? By the way, everybody who is on this webinar, let me just make you aware of one thing that's really, really good, and it has gotten up now. So let me just, if you go to my site, click on free information, and actually no, click on webinars. Click on webinars, and we now have up 3 parts of the Carl Blanks conversion rate optimization. part 1, part 2, and part 3. You really should listen to these and watch these. I mean, so get on the site and watch these. If you're on this webinar, do it yourself. Tell your friends. Everyone should be doing this because there's a lot of really good information. Now, if we go to part 3 here, one of the things that, did you go through this one, Avish?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so in this, we cover first Bill DeWeese's, and then we talk about, maybe we talk about mine first.
Oh, is this the one where he looks at each site?
He critiques.
Yeah, I did watch the critique of the speaking expert site.
Okay, good. So that's in there, and so that's something that, you know, everybody who's on the webinar can benefit from. And it gave, you know, he gave me some examples. That's why he told me to change the. So now you just watched the speaking expert portion on this, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he gave some great suggestions to both you, me, and Bill. And that's where we're going. But just to give you an idea, in terms of what I'm doing with Bill, so you can get an idea of what we could do together, is, so let me just say, under the increased revenue, so November 3rd through the 10th, with Bill DeWeese, what I'm doing is, so we're going out there with the intent to sort of, now the book, we've recorded the book. It's in the process of being transcribed now. I predicted he'd get 63 orders, pre-advance orders for that. He ended up with about 70, which is right about right. So he got 70 people.
Nice.
70 people paid $20 a piece for basically electrons. So he made 1,400. But we're getting, you know, the audio that we do, audio is being transcribed, and so then we're going to take that and turn it into a book. And we already have the cover, which we've shown people before here and you've seen. So then when I'm out there, what I'm going to be doing is helping him sort of finishing the book, also working on, he's got this thing called 100 questions. And that's, you know, something that we'll be able to be. And so now if we go to Speaking Expert, now we go to voiceover training and go to products. I think it might be, is there anything new up yet? But so these are relatively expensive programs. So when we click on VoiceOver Playbook, you know, and we want to order, it's $247. When we go to the audiobook success seminar videos, and they are, get the price point here, $247 as well.
The fastest.
And when we go to one-on-one coaching, this is a lot more expensive than those. So what we're trying to do is create some, you know, we now have some, we got the higher priced products, you know, set. We're set on that. But what we need is a lower priced products, and we want to include, you know, the book and other sort of the 100, what I'm calling the 100 questions. 100 questions is, and this is something that everyone can use, and I think, Avish, this is something we may want to do as well. So let's take the 100 questions comment and just put it into, let's shoehorn that into speaking. So the 100 questions you need answered if you want to get into the public speaking business. And again, I'm actually using that incorrectly because I think other people use it that way. So in other words, we could put together, and so what Bill and I were talking about is, he said, well, let's say that each question and answer was 5 minutes. So 5 times 100, you know, is equal to 500 minutes, and that's basically about 8 hours of information. So that's, you know, now then what we were going to do is we're going to get the top 10 and price them at something like, you know, $17 or $27 and then give people, the ability to buy, a piece of or all of those 100 questions. I think we could do a pretty good job of doing that as well, don't you?
Yeah. Are you saying that now do people who submit questions? Is there an incentive to get like a free copy of the program?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah. So we put out a call to everybody on our list. This is what Bill did. So Bill said, submit your biggest, best question about the voiceover business. In our case, it would be submit your biggest questions about the speaking business. And if chosen, you will receive, a free copy, provided that you give us your feedback on the full version. Or basically what we're saying is, look, we're going to give this to you for free under the following condition: that we want you to give us feedback on the product, hopefully a testimonial we can use, but we do want feedback one way or the other. Now, in Bill's case, and he's got a pretty responsive list, he put this out, and I think he got around 50 questions. So then the question is, well, what do you do with the rest of them? And then you make 50 up, meaning to say you have to create 50 additional questions. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So when we're all said and done, it doesn't have to be 100. It can be 7 questions. The 77 questions you've always wanted to know about public speaking, but we're afraid to ask.
So what's the what is the initial format going to be? Is it going to be videos? Is it going to be like 100 videos, 100 audios?
Yeah, my thought would be that we do videos, and they don't have to be complex or difficult. They could be in the form of what Bill does here, which is, let me see if I can find him again. Oh wait, there it was. Whoops. So when you go down to his, to his YouTube channel, and now it's over 100, by the way, of these. So he now has 124 different. So what happens is he's got these different interviews that he's done, and he's packaging more of them. Have you seen any of these, by the way?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so so he interviewed this guy Dave, who's on the air. He's our local anchor, CBS anchor in Vegas. We had lunch with him.
Right. Bill DeWeese here from voice-over-training.org, and it's good to connect with my friend Dave Courvoisier, live from Las Vegas. Dave, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
How you doing?
How you doing? I've been trying that way. I guess in our line of work.
So what he did was he interviews a lot of people, and he puts together, but he's also doing this 100 questions thing. So he has solicited that, and he's got now 124 different videos on the voiceover expert channel. I think that's what he's calling it here. So let me see what it's called. He's got 928 subscribers. You see this, Avish? He's had close to 100,000 views. So this is he's cranking this stuff, and so this is it's just a matter of little bit, and so then he gets people who attend his events. I think he recorded these testimonials live. Let me see what this one looks like. Let's see here.
Hi, I'm Joni from Bradley, Illinois, and I came into this workshop looking at voiceover as a potential secondary source of income. And my main concern was that it would be maybe an all-or-nothing kind of deal, and was happy to learn that I would be able to get started kind of at my own pace, and not only that, but where to go specifically.
Blah, blah, blah. So he's got a ton of different stuff up here, that he's created. Do we have Speaking Expert as a channel, Havish?
Not yet. That's I just created that Gmail account. I need to go in and set that. Set the YouTube up, move all the videos that was there.
Got it.
Right now, it's all under Havish Polisher.
Yeah. Okay. So what we do is we set that up. I mean, this system for him is working well. I mean, it's, and again, it's a matter of he's got a fairly rabid group of people that really like his stuff, but it's just a matter of doing it. By the way, the update, I have just gotten back one of the things I was talking to you about, which is the idea of, so if we're going to let's talk about increasing traffic. I have already started the process of transcribing or having someone transcribe a lot of my material, and what we're going to do is to take that material and put it into the blog format. And for those of you who weren't here before, we went over on one of the previous webinars sort of a cheat sheet of what blogs should consist of, courtesy of my buddy Bill DeWeese, who, by the way, I haven't sent his affiliate check to yet. I haven't sent your check. I'm way behind on checks. Let me just make a note. Checks. Bill DeWeese and Havish. Okay. So one of the things that is happening here is that I keep looking at my business every week or two. I just ask myself, okay, what can I do to either increase revenue and decrease expenses? Now, the vast majority of my income, in fact, what is it? Well, virtually 100% of it right now is coming from information products related things. Be that ultra cheap domains, web marketing magic, my joint venture relationships, et cetera, et cetera. All of those are producing revenue. But, Havish, you should know that one of the things I've also talked about is that poker should produce some revenue as well at some point. And what I've been doing there, and this is sort of a, an interesting, what I've been doing is I've been using my, have you seen that the poker site that I play on, by the way, for those of you who aren't interested in this, I apologize. I'm just indulging myself here, but advancedpokertraining.com. And so I put my username in here, and I sign up, and I'm going to show you how this works. Have you seen this, Havish?
I have not.
Okay,
No.
So watch what happens. So I can play, but I get choices as to which table that I want to play at. So there's the low-end table, all the way up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now the first 9 of these, I can peek at my opponent's cards, whereas the KGB dungeon, if you remember from Rounders, you can't peek at the opponent's cards. But let's say, for example, I went to Chips on the Beach here, and I'm going to use this because this is pretty instructive in terms of how to do this. So I get to, I'm going to turn the sound off because it's obnoxious. So now I'm sitting here with pocket nines. This guy just raised me to $23. So I can play these hands, and I'm just going to go all in because I got pocket nines here. And he'll fold, hopefully. And so I've made a goal for myself to play a minimum of 500 hands per day.
Wow.
So what I'm doing is, it's just like with everything else. I don't care if it's poker or info marketing. It's all about, finding a system, repeating it over and over again, doing it, and just going nuts. So in my case, I've decided that I want poker to be one of my revenue streams. And by the way, if you look at my, that advancedpokertraining.com site gives you, data on how well you play. And right now, in almost every category, I'm in the top 5% of all players in any of those groups. So it is a learning, so you don't have to, it's similar to anything you do, whether it be a sport or a hobby or anything else. You don't necessarily have to, be playing or doing the sport or hobby in a competitive fashion. You can find simulations. It's sort of like what airline pilots do when they get in the simulator to learn a new aircraft or to get retrained on an existing aircraft. So that's what I'm doing with poker, because poker is for me going to be another revenue source, and I intend to make that a portion of my regular income. And so what I'm doing is, if I'm doing 500 hands a day, so let's take a look, 500 times 30 days, so that's equal to 15,000 hands a month. And so what I'm doing is I want to get to the point where I'm playing or practicing a lot of poker, because just like, and if everybody hasn't, you've heard me say this repeatedly, talent is overrated by, I think it's called 2 R's, is it? By Jeffrey Colvin. And that is here. If any of you who are on this webinar right now don't have that book, you should get it immediately. And let's just show you where that is. Talent is overrated. And here it is right here. This is the book. Buy it immediately. What separates world-class performers from everybody else? I don't care if it's performance in golf or in poker or in information marketing. It doesn't matter. It's all the same, and you'll learn what is important to be successful. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out. So Vish, you and I then should have a discussion about whether or not, I should come out there, we should get together, or you come out here, whatever you want to do. But I'm committed to going through, each of my JV partners and helping them to advance their efforts by my doing anything that you need for me to do for a full week, just concentrated. So we should, like you said, we should lay out an agenda of what we're going to cover and what we would do, and that would be helpful. Any thoughts on anything I've covered so far?
No, nothing. It's all straightforward.
Now, here's the good and the bad news about this transcription of the audios. I showed this to Sabrina, who obviously isn't feeling too good, but she looked at it just quickly and said to me, with all of the elements, the cheat sheet that I sent you for doing the blog post, correct?
Say that again?
The cheat sheet that I sent you for the blog post. They aren't real. It isn't a really quick and easy thing to do. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the transcripts and trying to put them into 250 word sort of groups, and then going through and doing some keyword stuff, so that eventually, on her invoice to me, I was getting invoiced at, so I think she's gotten 5 of them done. I paid her $125. I probably got right now at least 30,000 words. So let's say I had 25,000 words. Make it really easy for the math here. So if I had 25,000 words, that would mean I have, and I'm going to be doing 250 word groups. I want to do 4 blog posts a day at 250 words each. So that means that I've got 100 days, or just over 3 months worth of blog posts thus far. Now, the problem is that it really is kind of difficult, because the cheat sheet that we've gone over in previous webinars here as well entails having to put a few external links, a few internal links, adding a picture with a caption, etc., and making sure that you repeat your keywords. So, agreed, it is not, it's not as easy as falling out of bed.
And I think, unless I'm looking at your math wrong, it's 25 days, not 100 days.
Oh, is that? I'm sorry. Huh.
Right,
oh, yeah, you're right.
It's 100 blog posts, but if you're doing 4 a day.
You're absolutely right.
I've been doing that as well with some of the speaking expert stuff, and I'm finding the same thing. Like, it's actually easy. It doesn't take that long to cut and edit the post. Going in and figuring out what keywords to use and optimizing it and finding the picture and all that, it does add on a little bit of time. I mean, it's probably easier than doing it from scratch still, but it's definitely a little bit more intensive than I thought.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, have you put any up yet?
A couple. Some I optimized, some I just put up just for the sake of getting some up there.
Okay, well, is there anything up there we can look at?
Yeah, if you go to the blog.
And I think the key to, so any of these?
Yeah, these are all from. So everything from these top like 5 or 6 are all.
Got it.
So this is one that was optimized for the phrase "how to be a great speaker."
Okay, so now, one of the things is that I think that the success of the approach that Bill Ballou sort of has created is that you need to be consistent and be doing this like regularly and for a period of time. And again, his statement was anywhere from 6 to 12 months, which is a lot, I realize. And that's at 4 times a day. But let's just think that if it actually works, it would be pretty killer. You know, it'd be a lot of traffic and a lot of people buying products and a lot of passive income. So it's sort of like the amount of work, and I just haven't looked at this recently. Let's just take a look. I literally have, for the past 3 or 4 months, not done anything with kdp.amazon.com, and yet, let me take a look at the reports. Okay, let's look at the past 6 weeks royalties. And let's see what that number is, 564. See, it is going down a little bit. So it's about $100 a week. So I may want to, you know, do some concentrating there on some, you know, some effort to juice that up in a little bit at least. So now, you know what? I'd like to see if anybody else, does anybody who's spectating, those of you watching, participating, you know, watching the webinar, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now because I've sort of exhausted it. Avisha, is there anything you wanted to cover before I moved on?
No, I'm good right now.
Okay, so if anybody's got any questions, now is the time to ask them. We've got about 8 or 10 minutes before we button up here. But, and again, Bill is hard at work recording voiceovers or he would have been on the call. Oh boy, yeah, he does, you know, the amount of time he spends in front of the microphone. I told him, I said, man, you can't keep doing that because your voice just can't do it, you know. Any questions from anybody regarding what we've covered so far? A lot of material, and if you haven't, if any of this was confusing, make sure and go back to the site here, go to webinars, and look at all the stuff that we've done in the past. There's a volume of material here that you can go through, and a lot of it's really good. So going all the way back to June of 2010. So I don't think we have any questions, Avish. So we'll call it a day. And thank you for being on. And let me know with the other what you want to do.
You got it.
Okay, folks. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week, same time, same channel.